Good morning, guys. Sarah left really early at like 7:30-ish because she's going to Hanover for a job. She took her iPhone with her, so hopefully she can shoot some footage here and there. Also her DSLR, or actually my DSLR, my 70. So depending on how things go, she might be able to transfer some footage. In the meantime, it is snowing outside. I'm not kidding, this makes me happy. Actually, this morning when Sarah left, it was raining. It's kind of interesting how that turned from rain into that, which makes me very happy.
Morning guys, I have not tried this. This is the first time vlogging on the iPhone because Jurre has the camera, I have the big camera, so I decided to use this. Not sure, I don't know. Is the audio okay? I hope so. I'll rewatch it and send the clip to Jurre later. I'm on my way to Hanover again, Hannover in German, if you want to learn German and the correct pronunciation of cities and stuff. My mom just came running after me and she's like, "Oh, you forgot something!" And she brought me my sunglasses, which is nice of her, but it's raining and it's just like ugly weather and it's gonna be cold. I don't know. Maybe I can use them. I was really annoyed because they kept on falling off my head. And there's a guy up there. He's looking at me, looking at what I'm doing. Still waiting for the tram. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. You want to play in the snow? I know. I want to play in the snow. It's too bad we don't have a backyard. I mean, the balcony is technically like the backyard, but it doesn't count, kitty. It doesn't count. It's kind of funny that I'm playing the part of Last of Us where you're like in a snowstorm area and it's a snowstorm here. How meta. I actually wanted to share something with you guys. I've had this for a really long time and I kind of needed to get my German license set over. I haven't done that yet, but we need to focus on that. But for those who didn't know, I actually used to do rescue swimming, or like specialized swimming that has to do with rescuing. And I did that for many years. I started when I was 6, which is usually the earliest you get like swimming lessons in the Netherlands, or it's recommended you do. Here's the thing, I have a bunch of really cool certificates that are super old school and stuff that have like a whole bunch of things on the back that will basically state like what you needed to do in order to get those things done. So it is in Dutch, so I have to find a way to translate it. But it's really interesting because the first one that I have over here, if Cas allows me to, Bister. So I have up to number 4 I have here, but when you start in the Netherlands, you get your A diploma, then your B diploma, and that usually means that you're perfectly fine being able to swim. Usually you're like 8 when you have those two. I think most, if not every single person in Dutchland is able to swim, or at least basic swimming. Do you want to go swimming as well? Because you seem to be very happy and excited about me talking about that. You already had food, so I know it's not that. Oh, you're just excited about snow, I know. Yeah, that is a very basic common thing. My family, kind of everyone of my mother's side of my family always has done rescue swimming for like the first part of their youth. Because it's really good to be able to save someone when something happens, or I don't know, just in case something happens. It's very important. Usually they do it in levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I think after 9, if like very specific, and that's basically when you go into becoming an actual rescue swimmer and diver and stuff. So I have my first one, which is actually from, let's see which date, 1998. That's a long time ago. And on the back, basically, it is like a quick summary of the exam that you have to do. And every single exam that I had to do was actually full clothes in order to simulate a more realistic scenario. So let's see if I can do the first one. There's like 7 criteria where you have to go through in order to make your thing. And like I said, 1998, so I was 7 or something? Okay, so the first thing you had to do for the first level was when I was about 7 to 8. And that means that you have to be able to save someone out of the water from a 4-meter distance when you're on the side of the water with a rope. Then you have to, secondly, jump into the water and swim like a regular swimming thing for 50 meters. Then do the same thing on your back, but instead of using like a backstroke, you basically hold like a little like plastic stick that simulates the distance of someone's head. And you do the same distance, Then, let's see, because I have to translate, it's kind of difficult here. Then you have to jump into the water and then dive directly underneath into the water and dive up 1 out of 5, kind of like clay pigeons. They are kind of heavy and they sink to the bottom of the water, and you have to get at least one of them in order to make that criteria. Then the second step is to, let's see, being able to do a backstroke for 50 meters and do the same thing with a stick. So basically it's just like a repetitive thing. Then this says jump into the water and then being able to dive 7 meters on water, which actually is not really that hard. And number 6, you have to be able to jump through the water, swim to the person. You have to basically talk to the other person to calm them down, because one of the things you learn, like as one of the first things you learn is that someone who is drowning or someone who isn't comfortable in the water usually tends to freak out, and you have to basically calm them down while also trying to save them. So you have to basically talk to them and then swim in like a specific like hold in order to save them, which is like the stick that I just said, that you hold your head on their ears so their head is above water. Even if they're unconscious, that should be able to save them. You swim on your back to the side of the water. And then the last thing is you have to be able to jump through the water, swim 5 meters regularly, and then dive straight underneath a 1 by 1 meter square. So that's like 3 foot, I think. Give it like 3 foot by 3 foot thing that's floating underwater. And if you make that, you technically passed. And in our case, we actually did a whole bunch of other stuff, which is more to extend time. Not really that important, but yeah, make that was the first one. And now look at the one that is from, I think at least like 4 years later. Because as you can see, there's a lot more stuff on there, which actually is the first one, is that you have to throw a, it's kind of like a yo-yo type thing with a big rope, and I believe the actual, I do not remember for sure, but I think the actual yo-yo element of it is made out of like a wood type thing that would float. So you have to throw that 8 meters into the water in order to save the person and hoist them back onto the side of the water. Then you have to be able to escape someone who is clamping onto you. So what I said just now about like calming them down, that's part of that. And there's like a move thing you have to do in order to like get them into the proper position in order to save them. You pass that next thing, then you have to jump into the water, do multiple laps back and forth, like on your back and on your front, which is not that hard. And then you have to dive into the water, being able to swim a certain thing for another distance. Let's see, in the next one over here, you have to swim for 12 meters underwater, which is usually half the size of the pool length. So technically a quarter of an Olympic swimming pool. But by that time, you've done so many times, because I actually would go to the swimming pool every single week in order to do those things. So at that point, I think I was able to swim 30 to 40 meters underwater without any real problems. I think I even managed to get all the way to 50 meters, but that was like a 1 to 2 time only deal. That's really hard. So if you manage to do that, you have to do a whole bunch of things while saving a person in like different holds and different moves in order to fulfill those things. It's like a whole bunch of things. And then one of the last things you have to do is to jump into the water with clothing and everything. You have to, I believe that you have to dive up someone, but the someone is actually a plastic yellow doll that fills up the water in order to simulate body weight. And that thing is actually heavier than most of the people and other students that you have to do it with. So you dive the thing up, you have to do like one of those holds in order to swim a minimum of 10 meters, and then you have to bring it back and drop it back into where you do the dive up for the next person. And then once again, you do a whole bunch of extra stuff. But it's really cool that I still have those things. And I don't remember half of the things, to be honest. I think in Vegas when we went swimming, I did a couple of those things to Sarah to see if I still remembered it. I kind of do. But yeah, I really miss swimming because I did it every single week for at least 6-7 years growing up. And then I had a problem where I punctured my eardrum while water skiing with school, and I kind of stopped swimming altogether because it was just like a problem where my ear would just fill up with water and it would just hurt for a couple of days. I think nowadays it's fine, it's actually healed up quite nice. Yeah, I had multiple moments where it would just reopen and it would just hurt for a couple of days and then close up again. I was like, oh yeah, I can probably swim. Nope, I couldn't. So maybe I should look for like an earplug because I love swimming. So we'll see, maybe in the future. Because in all honesty, I would love a swimming pool in our own house because I would be swimming all the time. But yeah, I thought it was kind of cool to share with you guys, especially because I have not really heard anyone ever, other than myself, do that. So it's very interesting. Also, actually kind of fun story. I was one of 2 guys into a group of all girls. We were like really young, so doesn't have the same gravity as it has now. It's like, oh girls, la-di-da. My friend who was with me actually introduced me to U-ball, which is kind of funny because in '99 I started to basically like walk around the clubhouse there like, hey, I don't mind playing. And that kind of got me into, well, drum corps for 10 plus years. So very interesting how those things worked out. I might have never gotten into drum corps if it wasn't because of him.
My shutdown was delayed, but I'm here with 2 minutes to spare. Yay!
But in all honesty, I really miss being able to just go outside, have some fun for a few weeks. And I know that for driving it's not fun at all because that part sucks, but I genuinely enjoyed shoveling outside and having some fun. I mean, I'm too old to play in the snow as a kid would, and I grew up in the Netherlands where fixed snow layers never happened. We had some ice here and there, and we had some snow once in a blue moon where you were like, oh yeah, that's snowing, and then everything would go wrong. But yeah, when we lived in Ohio for the last 3 years, that was awesome. I genuinely enjoyed it so much, and I really hope when we come back that we live in an area where we do get snow, because I kind of like seasons. I don't think that I can handle nice weather all the time. I don't think I would be able to live in LA, for instance, not only because it's super busy and stuff, but I don't think I can deal with constant pretty weather. I don't know what it means.
I just totally found something. So we have at least 3.
I have dolphin. I messed up.
Where's the ball? I can't see it. Oh wait!
Hi, stop it, woman. Bitch. 1 second. I have to be naked for this.
We are leaving.
Commando.
Censored!
I think the first one was just... Oh shit. The thing is, I'm so scared of hitting the ground.
Mm-hmm. Eyes on the ball. You know where the balls are. You're touching them in your sleep. This is your penis touching your ball. Well, you don't really appreciate your balls, do you? Hands on ball. Show us how it's done.
It was only a matter of time before someone was getting here and asking what we're doing. Not the owner, because that would be a surprise. But just in general, someone was asking like, hey, where'd you get the golf balls from? Nowhere.